Hello and a happy new year to you. I'm Lanwell Asese and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of the Gavel for the year 2014. Now 2013 has come and gone and it's a year that is still being assessed by all Nigerians. We're going to bring you a report that looks at the major landmarks of the National Assembly this year. We'll also have an interview with the chairman of the House Committee on Legislative Compliance. Let's begin with what defined 2013 in the National Assembly. It started on a slow note but ended with a bang. That's the story of 2013 in the National Assembly. The year began on a sour note with the National Assembly and the Executive disagreeing over the 2013 budget. The Executive had objected to some aspects of the budget passed by the National Assembly, such as the zero allocation to the Securities and Exchange Commission. And even when the budget was signed into law, the disagreement continued over the amendment sought by the Executive.
The amendment that is being sought today, Mr. Speaker, I don't know where to classify it based on this provision of the Constitution. To my mind, it is an appropriations Bill number 2. We all know in this assembly what an amendment looks like. If the president truly intended that we amend this Appropriation Act, all he needed to do is to bring a signed copy of the one he has done and then provide that clause, this should be deleted, this should be inserted here. But that is not the document before us.
In 2013, the National Assembly continued with its review of the 1999 Constitution, with both chambers voting on the areas up for amendment. In the review, the House of Representatives approved local government autonomy, the removal of immunity from prosecution previously enjoyed by the President and state governors, and approved independent candidacy for future elections. In the Senate, lawmakers voted against 6-year single tenure for the Executive, local government autonomy, and state police. They, however, approved lifetime pension for presiding officers of the Parliament. But one contentious issue overshadowed the whole process. This was the approval of a clause that was interpreted as giving consent to child marriage.
By Islamic law, any woman that is married, she is of age. So if you now say she is not of age, then it means that you are going against Islamic law.
In the year under review, the National Assembly passed the amendment to the 2013 Appropriation Bill, the Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Bill, and the State of the Nation Address Bill. How relevant was the National Assembly in 2013?
Within an equivalent period, I think this Senate has passed far more bills than any other Senate within the same time frame. So in terms of our core constitutional responsibility of legislating, I think we have done well. We have also passed motions on very key subjects.
Things that have come from the executive have been, if you want to look at it, critically analyzed, not with a view to fighting the presidency, as some people try to say, but with a view to making sure that what the presidency or what the executive brings are in line with what we think Nigerian people want. So sometimes we'll be misunderstood. But again, I think that is very healthy for the nation, because at the end of the day, really, you don't want a parliament that is a rubber stamp, really.
We've done well, and I thank God that Nigerian people actually appreciate. Even you, the people of the third state of the realm, you know definitely that we've done a lot, if not for the legislative arm of government. Only God knows what. And that's even the difference between the autocracy and democracy, because if you take away the legislature, definitely you have autocracy. It is when we are in that you have democracy. And that makes a lot of difference. But in the past, people look at National Assembly or legislature as being too passive in the area of governance, and that's the reason why the present crop of people at the executive arm are not too comfortable with the activities of the present, the 7th Assembly, because they've seen a lot of activities that they don't even believe that we are acting under the confine of Nigerian Constitution. They believe they were stepping beyond, because in the past it was not as, the National Assembly was not as active, as aggressive and as proactive as this.
Auwal Musa is the Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center. He says the National Assembly performed poorly in its oversight functions.
The Senate did not really do much in terms of effective oversight. The Public Account Committee in the National Assembly has the responsibility to ensure that, they actually get the audited report from the Federation. They have not been playing that role to ensure that whatever money that has been approved under the budget, under the appropriation, is properly accounted for.
The quality of the National Assembly's oversight function is not the only source of worry for some Nigerians.
In terms of lawmaking, we didn't see the 7th Assembly has not really come out with many sunshine laws. We have seen constitutional review, we've seen the people's public session that took place, but in terms of what you will have seen in perhaps the 6th Assembly, where you had things like the Public Procurement Act, FOI, and they have rather been a little bit more in terms of making resolutions that the executive takes for nothing, if you ask me. So we've seen more resolutions, more in some sense grandstanding really, but in terms of proper lawmaking, I cannot point to, especially as somebody who is in development work, so a law that have come out that truly can catch my interest.
Compared to 2012, the National Assembly did not carry out many high-profile investigations. They, however, concentrated on the following: investigating the cause of frequent plane crashes in the country, the controversy that trailed the purchase of 2 bulletproof cars, investigating employment irregularities in government establishments, and the management of the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program. Conducting investigations is one thing. The implementation of the recommendations from these investigations is another. But lawmakers say the parliament is not to blame.
The moment we have exposed corruption, inefficiency of this, we have satisfied what the Constitution expects of us. So when they begin to say nothing has come out of